Hey, fellow babies. Welcome back to the last Pachter Factor of 2017. We're all getting excited about Christmas, which reminds me I need to go on Amazon and count on that 2-day shipping and get my last Christmas gifts in. We appreciate your patronage all year on Patreon for SIFTD.net. Thank you, everybody who has helped support Shane and the SIFTD.net family. It keeps the Pachter Factor rolling. If you're watching on YouTube a week later, I hope you had a great Christmas. And please follow me on YouTube. I want to end the year at a record number of followers. I want to get up to 45,000. Really do appreciate everything everybody's done all year. I hope your families have or had a wonderful Christmas, and we're looking forward to a prosperous 2018. Our first question from SIFTD from Dr. Mono. Imagine a room filled with hardcore gamers. That happens all the time. Game company executives and the company's shareholders. Okay, well, I've been with hardcore gamers and executives, not the shareholders necessarily. Gamers and shareholders ardently, this is an educated person, ardently argue about whether to continue to fund or cancel a game that could potentially advance gaming as an art form, but would be expensive to complete and sales projections are not good. How would you handle the mediation between the so-called hardcore gamers and the company shareholders? Okay. First of all, gamers, you don't get what you want, okay? Somebody's got to pay for it. So the shareholders pay for it, whether you think that through or not. The money for game development comes from profit. If a company doesn't make profit, they're gone. They can't ever make games again. So they have to balance profits versus art. Yes, it's wonderful to have art. And the balance is getting a game that is considered art that is also commercially successful. I understand that means we get more sequels and we take fewer chances. That has happened in the film industry as well. I'd say that's happened in the music industry too. I mean, it's really hard to support any kind of creative exercise that doesn't have a profit. So how would I mediate it? Look, I'm a finance guy. I'm all about the profits. I don't know art at all. I'm not the person who reviews games. I couldn't tell you. I posted recently on Twitter that Psychonauts was one of the best games I've ever played. I think it sold 1 million units. There's no way it made money. But my God, was it fun. And beautiful and clever and Tim Schafer, what can I say? I mean, what a freaking great game. No publisher is going to make Psychonauts 2, even though Psychonauts 1 got like a 92 or 94 or something, and was unbelievable. I mean, fun, beautiful, just quirky, great. So the answer is, if you want to advance gaming as an art form and you don't care about profits, crowdfund. Do it with your own money. And we do get game developers like Cliff Bleszinski who decide to do it with their own money. And what ends up happening is Lawbreakers was a critical success, not so much on the commercial side. It's hard. It's not just making a good game, it's promoting it. It's, getting a retail presence. It's making sure people are aware of what it is. It's getting lots of review scores. So no, it's a profit deal. And no, the publishers are not going to make a game that they don't think they can make money on. You still get this in Hollywood occasionally. They call it vanity projects, where there's a film made because an important director really wants to make it. And so that might be like Steven Spielberg making that movie about the Cold War. I forgot the name of the movie, Tom Hanks. You get that. You get, what's his name? Tim Burton making, some random Johnny Depp Dark Shadows kind of movie or whatever that doesn't do very well. But those are fading away. And really, games have to be commercially successful. Now, you as a gamer know you're not going to buy it unless it's good. So commercially successful games tend to be pretty good. But I don't think that most publishers, with probably the exception of Rockstar, really push the envelope and try to make the games just perfect in every way. The Rockstar guys are really good at it. Nintendo, really good at it. But man, no. If it's like think about it like a indie artsy kind of movie. If it's not going to get a big audience, it's really hard to get funding. The exceptions in Hollywood are things like Blair Witch Project or Get Out, small budget, really good movies. Get Out, phenomenal, by the way. But no, I would not mediate. I would take the company shareholder side because that's who pays me. Shareholders pay me. I am on their side. The publishers do not pay me. I am not on their side. Okay. What a funny list here. So our next question from SIFTD from SJ0S. I don't know what that is. SJOS. Balvenie, Glenfiddich, Johnny Walker. What's the best Scotch? Happy New Year. Okay, of those three, Glenfiddich is actually fine. It's perfectly acceptable. Of those three, Balvenie by far. Johnny Walker can be good. Just so you know, Johnny Walker Blue, which is the top of the line, the base for Johnny Walker Blue is something called Linkwood. So if you can buy Linkwood single malt, you're getting Johnny Walker Blue in a single malt. I'll give you the lecture. Single malt scotches are one batch of the same exact stuff. Blended whiskeys are a single malt and a single grain blended. The difference between single malt and single grain: single malt is made from barley, single grain is made from a grain that's not barley, period. Both are made with the same exact process for Scotch, so they make them exactly the same. They actually taste the same. The difference is single grains tend to be smoother, and by blending you can balance out the alcohol content and they blend into something that's really drinkable. My favorite blended whiskey that's affordable, or used to be, no longer, is Hibiki, which is Japanese blended whiskey. It's unbelievable. Unfortunately, the Chinese discovered it, and so the price has gone through the roof. But there's something called Hibiki Harmony in the 60s. Pretty good, but that's expensive. Johnny Walker Red is crap. Don't drink it. It will kill you. Black is pretty good. Gold is better. Blue is the best. But I don't think they're necessarily worth the money. Blue is maybe $165, something like that, for 25-year-old. Pretty good. I'm a Balvenie fan. Just basic Balvenie Doublewood, $49.99. You can drink that. My favorites that are affordable: Auchentoshan, which is lowlands Scotch, and it's the only one I can think of from the lowlands, so not the highlands, but down below. Is only like 25 bucks and really good. Glenfiddich is about 25 bucks. It can be good. The Solera cask, the 14-year-old, I think it is, 14 or 15-year-old Solera cask, is about twice as expensive, about 50 bucks, and very, very good. Balvenie better, Aberlour better, Dalmore, thank you Rod Ferguson, who runs the coalition and makes Gears of War, for turning me on to Dalmore. Dalmore, $49.99, unbelievable. So I would drink Aberlour, which is low 40s, Balvenie, which is high 40s, Dalmore, which is high 40s, before I would drink any of those others. And if you're going to drink Glenfiddich, it's Glenfiddich, by the way. I would drink Glenfiddich Solera cask, which is kind of a bourbon finish, pretty nice. But there's a gajillion scotches. I'm going to give you a hint. Go to klwines.com, klwines.com, or go to Remedy Liquor, R-E-M-E-D-Y, Liquor. KL is in San Francisco, Remedy is in Glendale. They have the most extensive Scotch selection. Between those two, you will find 700 or 800 scotches. And don't screw up here. Get something rated by the Whiskey Advocate. They mark them very clearly. Something with a 90+ rating from Whiskey Advocate is great. If you like peaty scotches, Ardbeg is great, Lagavulin is great, Laphroaig is great. I just bought Laphroaig quarter cask, $46.99, phenomenal. There's just tons and tons and tons of scotches. But if you like peaty, then they're completely different. My personal favorites are all Speyside or Highlands, except for the Auchentoshan, which is cheap. So hope that answered your question, and happy Scotch drinking, and don't drink too much Scotch because it's not good for your health. And by the way, the best Scotch I've ever had is something called Bruichladdich Black Art, and it's 23 years old. The head of the ESA, Mike Gallagher, took me to a Scotch tasting, and I pointed it out and said, that's the best Scotch I've ever had. And 2 weeks later, a bottle of it showed up in my office. What a cool guy. And on on the bottle, the wrapper, it's a tube, comes in a can. On the can, I swear it says this: if we told you how we made this, we'd have to kill you. So it's the black art. It's a secret, but oh my God, is that stuff good. The bad news is it's like $380 a bottle. Ooh. Yes. So I still have a bottle, and I'm going to drink it because Mike Gallagher gave it to me. So thank you, Mike Gallagher. I doubt you're watching this, but you might be up on YouTube. Anyway, Happy New Year to you too, and drink some scotch on New Year. Our next question from Twitter, from @TheOnlyKirk. With Take-Two making more money off microtransactions than normal sales, and UB making more off microtransactions on their digital sales than base game sales, have we passed the point of no return? If we're stuck with microtransactions, is there a better way to do it? Great question. First question, yes, we are past the point of no return. Second question, this is more interesting. I really question why games have a purchase price at all. I think that the model for free-to-play actually works. And, if you look at games like Clash of Clans on mobile or League of Legends on desktop or World of Tanks on desktop, they do literally $1 billion a year free from microtransactions. So there's plenty of money in free with microtransactions. The problem is that if you make a game like FIFA or you make a game like Call of Duty, you Activision or EA, are addicted to the, call it $1 billion a year you get from selling a whole lot of units of the game at $60. And then you try to make more money with microtransactions. And it's going to be really hard to get Take-Two to say, no, GTA is free. Or get EA to say FIFA is free. And we'll do all microtransactions. Because they're giving up $1 billion or more in the case of GTA to go to all microtransactions all the time. But I actually think that's where we're headed. So, the question is, how do you charge people? But the free-to-play guys have proven that the microtransaction model works. And the truth is, I think GTA is a really interesting one because GTA, the game you bought, is single player. There's no multiplayer in GTA. You're doing missions and you're finishing the game and you're exploring. But GTA Online is totally multiplayer. So I think the right thing for Activision, EA, and Take-Two to do, keep making the single player game and then have the multiplayer game be free for maybe a scaled down version of the game. So maybe if you buy the game, you get 10 maps and you can play a bunch of stuff, but make a free multiplayer version and don't make people buy the game in order to play GTA Online or Call of Duty multiplayer or FIFA Ultimate Team. And I think that, they would probably make more money if they did that. They lose some sales, but again, no one's going to do it. It's going to take a long time before they migrate to that. So look, the right model is if you give people a lot of stuff for free and you give them an incentive to spend money, but you don't force them to, the guys who want to spend a lot will spend a lot. The guys who don't want to spend anything will spend nothing, and everybody's happy. So I think as long as you keep it optional, like Overwatch, where you don't have to buy anything, but I bet they're doing $100 million a quarter in cosmetic microtransactions on Overwatch. As long as you don't force people to spend money, who cares? I get bored after 50 tries on a level.
It takes 50 before you get bored?
Some levels. Well, no, I probably get bored. Well, again, if you have 5 lives, you log on, you burn through your 5 lives. You come back, 2.5 hours later, you burn through your 5 lives. You come back 2.5 lives. Screw this, I'm spending, $1. I don't want to look at this level anymore. So you could say I'm a cheater, but I'm like, who am I telling? I'm on level 2600. Do you care? All right. Our final question of 2017 from SIFTD, from Johnny Hurricane. Okay, this is going to be a much longer answer than you expect. What's for Christmas dinner? Okay, you guys probably didn't know this, but I am the best cook that you watch every week talking about games on YouTube or SIFTD.net. I'm really a good cook. Now, there are cooking shows. There are obviously better cooks out there than me, but not gamer shows that are better cooks. I think Justine would claim to be a better cook than me, but she's not. She's a better baker than me. I'm a really good cook. So here's what's for Christmas dinner. I'm going to tell you how I do it, too. So I make a turkey every Christmas, and the main reason is we actually have been going away for Thanksgiving, so we're going to be in Mexico for Thanksgiving, so no turkey for us. I make a turkey for Christmas. I stuff my turkey with leeks, nothing else. Chopped up leeks. I stuff them, and I put the turkey upside down. And the reason I put the turkey upside down is all the fat drips out, and the breast stays super moist because all the fat drops down to the breast. So you put it on the breast. I do flip it over with about 40 minutes to go so I can crisp all the skin over the breast. But I turn the thing upside down, stuffed with leeks. It only takes about 15 minutes a pound to cook, or 12. It cooks much faster because leeks are aromatic and they're wet and they make it hot. I make stuffing. I make leek stuffing. I make sausage and leeks and onions and celeries and then just regular old cornbread stuffing. And it's phenomenal. Pretty easy to make, but again, equal amounts of leeks and onions and celery, and then stuffing. So the vegetables are about exactly half of the volume, the stuffing's the other half, and then throw in a couple of pounds of sausage. Depends on how many packages you make, or how many trays you make. And then my pièce de la résistance is gravy. So here's how you make gravy. You take the turkey dripping. So I have this giant pan that I cook my turkey in, all the drippings. And I baste my turkey with chicken broth. And I use unsalted, just regular old chicken broth. I use organic chicken broth. It doesn't matter. So it's pretty full. I boil all the gizzards in chicken broth all day, as long as I'm cooking the turkey, 3 or 4 hours. So the gizzards all just disintegrate. I take all the bones out, obviously. Chop up all the gizzards. In my gravy, I put about a half a pound of bacon. So again, crumbled up, sauteed bacon. So I throw that in there. I drain all the fat from the drippings. And then I put in usually a teaspoon of Kitchen Bouquet. You buy a bottle of Kitchen Bouquet, it'll last you for 10 years. I put in a half a bottle of red wine, right? And then again, it's all chicken broth and gizzards and all that stuff. And the leeks just kind of flavor it. Nothing else except pepper. And I boil that. I take flour to thicken it, and I make a paste out of flour and some of the drippings. So it's pretty runny. I make it until it's runny, but I use the hot drippings so that I grind out all of the lumps from that, and I literally drop in a teaspoon of that and stir for about 5 minutes. Cook, another teaspoon, stir, another teaspoon, stir, and it just thickens up perfectly, and my gravy is freaking awesome. So I'm telling you, the drippings, broth, wine, bacon, gizzards, a little bit of flour, and some pepper if you like pepper, and my gravy is just to die for. So that's what we're having for Christmas dinner. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. Thank you for joining us in 2017 on the Pachter Factor. I am hopeful that you are a Patreon supporter. If not, think about it. If you can't afford it or choose not to, please follow me on Twitter if you're watching this on YouTube and you've already had a great Christmas and New Year's. And we will be back in 2018. Thank you. Bye-bye.